Welcome back, rare coin INSIDR. Imagine holding a small piece of history in the palm of your hand. A coin so seemingly ordinary that millions of people pass by it every day without a second thought. This is the story of the 2006 1-cent coin, an unassuming piece of metal that, under the right circumstances, can be worth an extraordinary sum, even reaching figures that boggle the mind, like $41 million. At first glance, it is easy to dismiss it as a simple penny, part of everyday transactions, a tool for the minor exchanges of commerce, an object whose nominal value seems insignificant. Yet, behind its copper-plated surface lies a rich history, intricate design, and a tale of rarity that elevates it from mundane currency to the coveted treasure of collectors around the world. The 2006 1-cent coin is more than just a piece of currency. It is a symbol, a witness to the history of minting, a bearer of design that has evolved through decades, and in some cases, a ticket to unimaginable wealth for those who understand its story. When we examine a coin, we must look at it from multiple angles: the physical aspects, the symbolic meaning, the historical context, and the market forces that dictate its value among collectors. Starting with its physical characteristics, the 2006 1-cent coin, commonly referred to as a penny, carries a standard weight that is deceptively simple. Typically, it weighs 2.5 grams, a figure that has been consistent with the Lincoln cent minted after 1982, when the composition shifted from 95% copper to primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This slight change in material composition makes the 2006 coins part of a broader story about post-1982 U.S. minting practices. The shift from solid copper to a zinc core with a copper exterior was driven by rising copper prices and practical considerations in mass coin production, ensuring that the mint could produce billions of coins efficiently without incurring unsustainable costs. For collectors, this shift in composition is crucial. It allows for the identification of subtle errors, variations, or anomalies in weight and metallic structure that could dramatically increase a coin's market value. Some 2006 1-cent coins, for instance, were minted with minute discrepancies in copper plating thickness, zinc purity, or striking pressure, and these minor differences, almost invisible to the naked eye, can transform an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar rarity. The symbol and design of the coin are equally important in understanding its value and allure. On the obverse, we find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing right. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, has adorned the penny since 1909, commemorating the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Lincoln's image is not merely decorative. It is imbued with historical resonance, evoking ideals of freedom, unity, and perseverance. Every tiny detail, the curve of his hair, the line of his jaw, the gaze of his eyes, has been scrutinized by collectors and historians alike. The reverse design in 2006 features the Union Shield, a relatively modern addition introduced in 2009 to symbolize the unity of states under the Constitution, but some pre-2009 coins retain earlier motifs that still reflect the evolution of American symbolism. In 2006, however, the reverse was still dominated by the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute that connects each penny to the broader narrative of American history, architecture, and reverence for one of the nation's most celebrated leaders. The subtlety of these design elements becomes critically important when examining rare coins, because slight deviations during the minting process, whether misalignment, doubling of the image, or unusual die marks, can create varieties that collectors prize. Coins with errors are rare by definition, and rarity is the fundamental driver of value. While millions of 2006 pennies were minted, only a fraction contained errors significant enough to attract attention from serious numismatists. Understanding the history of the 1-cent coin is essential to appreciating why certain specimens can command astronomical prices. The penny has been in circulation since 1793, evolving from the flowing hair large cent to the famous Lincoln cent, reflecting changes in society, politics, technology, and economics. Each era of minting carries its own significance. The 2006 penny belongs to the early 21st century era when the United States Mint had perfected mass production techniques, yet still occasionally produced anomalies that would later become collector gold. Errors can occur at any point, during the preparation of the die, the striking of the coin, or even during post-mint handling. Some of the most valuable pennies are the result of errors that occurred in mere fractions of a second, yet those imperfections transform ordinary coins into treasures. Market value is a complex interplay of rarity, condition, and demand. For the 2006 1-cent coin to reach an astronomical figure like $41 million, certain conditions must converge. The coin must be in pristine condition, possibly graded as MS-70 or PS-70 by professional coin grading services. It must exhibit a highly unusual minting error or possess some provenance that enhances its desirability. And there must be a collector or institution willing to pay an exceptional premium to acquire it. Coins rarely sell for such sums, but history is full of examples where a single coin, because of its uniqueness, historical significance, or rarity, achieved prices far beyond common expectations. The narrative surrounding a coin can be as important as the coin itself. Imagine a 2006 penny that was mistakenly struck with a double die, creating a subtle but unmistakable duplication of Lincoln's image, or perhaps one that retained an unintentional composition error, giving it a unique color, weight, or texture. These anomalies make each coin a story frozen in metal, a tangible artifact that connects the present to the exact moment in time when it was created. For those who study and collect coins, every detail matters. The thickness of the coin, the sheen of the copper plating, the alignment of the die, even microscopic scratches can affect grading and value. Professional grading companies meticulously inspect coins under magnification, sometimes for hours, to determine the coin's exact grade and any special characteristics that might enhance its desirability. This rigorous evaluation process is what separates a penny worth 1 cent from one worth millions of dollars. The market for rare coins is driven not only by historical significance, but also by human psychology. Collectors often seek to own a piece of history, to hold in their hands an object that is singular, irreplaceable, and irrefutably tied to a specific time and place. The idea that a coin from 2006, a year not so long ago in historical terms, could fetch $41 million may seem implausible to the casual observer, yet it underscores the extraordinary lengths to which collectors will go to secure rare artifacts. Supply and demand dynamics further explain these high valuations. The 2006 penny is abundant in everyday circulation, but coins with the rarest minting errors or extraordinary provenance are limited in number, often to a handful of examples worldwide. As the supply shrinks and the demand among wealthy collectors and institutions grows, the market price escalates dramatically. It is this delicate balance that turns a common 1-cent coin into a coveted collector's item. The story of the 2006 1-cent coin is, therefore, a tale of transformation. What begins as a humble piece of currency, minted in billions, can under the right circumstances become a symbol of wealth, history, and human fascination with rarity and perfection. It embodies the intersection of art, history, and economics. It is a reminder that value is not always intrinsic, but often constructed through collective appreciation, historical context, and the meticulous eyes of those who see potential where others see the mundane. Every scratch, shine, misalignment, or variation on the coin is a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting, a dance between human craftsmanship and mechanical precision. The 2006 penny invites us to look closer, to study, and to marvel at the minute details that could reveal the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. As we delve deeper into the story of the 2006 1-cent coin, it becomes crucial to understand the intricate processes behind its creation, because rarity and value are often rooted in how a coin is minted, struck, and handled. The journey of a penny begins long before it reaches the hands of the public. It starts with the design and approval process, a meticulous procedure involving artists, historians, mint officials, and government oversight. For the 2006 1-cent coin, the design on the obverse, featuring Abraham Lincoln, was already well established and beloved, but every year, the mint conducts inspections to ensure that the die used to strike coins remains precise and free from defects. The dies themselves are works of engineering. Each die is carefully engraved, hardened, and tested under extreme conditions. Minute imperfections in a die can lead to entire runs of coins bearing unusual characteristics, double dies, misalignments, or striking errors that may later become the stuff of legend in the collecting world. These anomalies are never intentional, yet they are the key to understanding why a single penny minted in 2006 could eventually be worth $41 million. Errors can arise at several stages: the preparation of the metal planchet, the striking of the coin, or even during the packaging and handling stages at the mint. For instance, if a planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, has an incorrect alloy mixture, it can affect the weight, color, or luster of the final coin. A slight imbalance in zinc and copper could result in a coin with a slightly different hue, a subtle feature that becomes a magnet for discerning collectors. The striking process itself is a marvel of precision engineering. High-pressure machines imprint each coin with incredible detail, yet slight variances in pressure or alignment can create errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or repunched mint marks. On the 2006 penny, collectors search for these imperfections meticulously. A double die might cause Abraham Lincoln's profile to appear shadowed, his jawline slightly duplicated, or his hairline subtly altered. To the untrained eye, the differences are imperceptible, but for a professional numismatist, such coins are treasures, their value magnified by rarity, condition, and demand. Beyond technical errors, there is the matter of provenance, which can dramatically affect a coin's market value. Coins with a known history, especially those previously owned by notable collectors, celebrities, or institutions, often carry a premium. Imagine a 2006 penny that was part of a limited release set, preserved in near-perfect condition, and later discovered in a collection maintained for decades. The story attached to the coin, where it came from, who held it, and how it survived without circulation, can transform a simple piece of copper and zinc into a multimillion-dollar artifact. Condition is paramount in evaluating any coin, and this is where professional grading becomes crucial. Organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) examine coins under magnification, assess their strike quality, luster, surface imperfections, and overall appearance, assigning a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. A 2006 penny graded MS-70 or PS-70 indicates that it is in flawless, pristine condition, as though it had never left the protective environment of the mint. These perfect coins are rare, even more so when combined with minting anomalies or historical significance. Collectors and investors pay extraordinary premiums for coins that achieve such perfection because they represent the absolute pinnacle of survivable mint quality. The market for rare coins is dynamic and driven by both economics and human psychology. Supply is finite. Millions of 2006 pennies exist, but only a tiny fraction carry errors, imperfections, or unique histories that make them truly exceptional. Meanwhile, demand among wealthy collectors, museums, and institutions often outstrips availability, creating bidding wars that can drive prices to astonishing heights. The notion that a 1-cent coin could reach a market valuation of $41 million may seem absurd to the casual observer, but history has repeatedly demonstrated that rarity, condition, and narrative can combine to produce extraordinary valuations. Consider the famous 1943 copper penny, an accidental anomaly produced when copper planchets intended for earlier years were mistakenly struck in a year dominated by steel pennies. One of these rare pennies sold for millions, not because of its nominal face value, but because of the combination of error, rarity, and historical context. The 2006 1-cent coin, while younger and less historically distant, benefits from a similar principle. The rarest versions, those with minting anomalies, uncirculated perfection, or unique provenance, are treated as modern rarities, prized by collectors who recognize the significance of capturing a tangible piece of 21st century minting history. Collectors approach these coins with a mix of scientific rigor and passionate curiosity. They examine each penny under magnification, noting every detail: the alignment of the shield, the depth of Lincoln's profile, the reflective quality of the copper plating, even subtle shifts in die marks or edge impressions. A tiny misalignment can change a coin from ordinary to extraordinary, sometimes commanding millions in auctions. It is this meticulous attention to detail that drives the numismatic market, where knowledge, patience, and keen observation are as valuable as financial capital. In addition to minting anomalies, other factors influence the 2006 penny's value. Market trends in precious metals, for example, can enhance collector interest. While the penny itself contains very little intrinsic metal value, fluctuations in copper or zinc prices can spark renewed attention toward older or exceptional pennies, particularly those that retain more copper content than typical circulation examples. Similarly, stories of theft, discovery, or rediscovery of coins in pristine condition can ignite bidding wars, further inflating prices. The cultural resonance of the penny also plays a subtle role. Lincoln's portrait is iconic, and the Lincoln cent has been part of American life for over a century. Collectors are often drawn to coins that represent continuity, history, and national symbolism. The 2006 penny, though relatively modern, carries the weight of this cultural and historical legacy, linking contemporary collectors to generations past. As we explore the market dynamics further, it becomes apparent that valuations like $41 million are not purely speculative. Auction results from rare coins around the world demonstrate that collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for coins with exceptional characteristics. These sales are driven by competitive bidding, limited availability, and the desire to own something that is both beautiful and unique. The psychological component cannot be understated. The allure of rarity, the prestige of ownership, and the connection to history all contribute to the willingness of collectors to invest vast sums for a single coin. The 2006 1-cent coin thus exists at the intersection of artistry, history, science, and economics. It is a small, tangible object that encapsulates complex human interests: the meticulous craft of the mint, the randomness of error, the pursuit of perfection, and the enduring fascination with rarity. Each coin tells a story, and each story carries potential financial and emotional value that transcends the coin's face value. As we consider the journey of the 2006 penny, from raw metal to minted coin, from circulation to preservation, from obscurity to multi-million-dollar valuation, we begin to understand why numismatics is not merely a hobby, but a field rich with scholarship, passion, and financial opportunity. It is a discipline where the smallest details matter, where history and art converge, and where a single penny can change hands for sums that defy imagination. To truly appreciate the extraordinary value some 2006 1-cent coins can achieve, it is essential to examine the specific types of minting errors and anomalies that transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a highly coveted collector's item. Errors can occur at virtually every stage of the minting process, and each carries its own degree of rarity and appeal. One of the most famous categories is the double die, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has an engraved image that was accidentally duplicated slightly out of alignment. On a 2006 penny, this could manifest in Lincoln's profile, where his cheek, jawline, or hair appears to have a subtle shadow or doubling effect. These errors are particularly prized because they are visually distinct yet rare enough to make the coin stand out in an otherwise vast population of pennies minted that year. Another significant error is the off-center strike, which happens when the planchet is not properly aligned with the die during striking. In this case, part of Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse may appear incomplete, as if the coin were cropped. While mild off-center strikes are somewhat common and often hold modest value, extreme cases where more than 25% of the design is missing can be incredibly rare, turning a simple one-cent coin into a fascinating collector's piece worth thousands or even millions. A third type of anomaly is the planchet error, including clipped planchets, lamination flaws, or improper alloy composition. For example, some 2006 pennies might have retained slightly higher copper content or experienced uneven plating, producing a color variation that makes the coin instantly recognizable to collectors with trained eyes. These seemingly minor imperfections are magnified by the coin's rarity, and in exceptional circumstances, can drive valuations to astronomical levels. Beyond physical anomalies, there are coins with unique historical context or provenance. Consider a 2006 penny discovered in an original mint set that was preserved by a collector or institution for decades, untouched by circulation. Such coins often retain pristine condition, immaculate luster, and perfectly struck designs. When these coins appear at auction, the combination of perfection, rarity, and historical continuity makes them prime candidates for premium pricing. Some coins gain value due to famous discovery stories. There are documented cases where 2006 pennies with minor anomalies were discovered in rolls purchased from banks, hidden in jars at family homes, or found in unexpected locations like storage units, abandoned safes, or old collections. The narrative of discovery adds an intangible allure that is difficult to quantify, but highly influential in auction settings. Auction houses around the world, from heritage auctions in the United States to Spink and Son in London, have recorded instances where modern pennies with extraordinary characteristics, particularly those less than 2 decades old, achieve multi-million-dollar valuations. The psychology behind these sales is fascinating. Collectors are not just purchasing a piece of metal, they are purchasing rarity, prestige, and the knowledge that their coin represents something practically unattainable for most people. Collectors employ sophisticated strategies to identify coins with potential multi-million-dollar value. The process begins with careful inspection, often using magnification tools, proper lighting, and sometimes even digital imaging to analyze the coin's details. Experienced collectors know to look for subtle irregularities in the strike, unusual textures on the surface, variations in color or luster, and anomalies around the edges. These meticulous observations can reveal errors invisible to the casual observer, but which experts recognize as extremely rare and valuable. Once a coin is identified as potentially significant, it undergoes professional grading and certification. Organizations like PCGS and NGC apply rigorous standards, examining each coin's surface, strike, and overall appearance. Even microscopic scratches or slight wear can affect a coin's grade, making the grading process a crucial step in realizing the coin's market potential. Beyond grading, collectors often research the minting history, cross-referencing the coin with official mint reports, die records, and prior auction results. This research allows them to determine whether the coin belongs to a rare error category, has an unusual composition, or is part of a limited batch that survived with minimal circulation. All of these factors influence the coin's valuation. Some 2006 1-cent coins have unique stories tied to die states, which describe the wear and progression of the die over its lifespan. Coins struck early in a die's life may exhibit sharper details and more pronounced features, while those struck later may have softer, more worn impressions. In certain cases, early strike coins with a particular die are considered rare and highly desirable, especially if they coincide with an identified minting anomaly. The market dynamics for such coins are extraordinary. Consider a hypothetical scenario in which a 2006 penny, exhibiting a subtle double die on Lincoln's cheek and preserved in perfect uncirculated condition, is put up for auction. Collectors across the globe, aware of the coin's rarity, historical significance, and flawless condition, engage in competitive bidding. The final sale price could reach tens of millions, not because of the coin's intrinsic metal value, but because of its rarity, story, and collector demand. The rarity premium is compounded by the fact that only a handful of such coins may exist worldwide. In addition, 2006 pennies with unique characteristics often attract attention from institutions and investors looking to diversify their holdings with tangible assets. Unlike stocks or bonds, these coins carry both aesthetic and historical value, making them desirable for long-term preservation and display. The combination of historical resonance, technical error, pristine condition, and market psychology creates a perfect storm in which a coin worth 1 cent at face value can achieve valuations that seem almost surreal. In some cases, coins with extraordinary provenance are tied to famous collections. A penny from a renowned collector's estate, perhaps someone who spent decades seeking rare Lincoln cents, carries added value simply due to its prior ownership. Collectors value this connection to the past, as it represents continuity, expertise, and trust in the coin's authenticity and preservation. The story of these coins is also enhanced by their cultural symbolism. Lincoln's portrait is one of the most iconic images in American numismatics, representing ideals of freedom, justice, and national unity. Owning a coin with both historical significance and a rare error transforms it from a mundane object into a piece of cultural heritage. Every coin tells a story, and the 2006 penny, despite its modern origin, is no exception. Market fluctuations further illustrate the fascinating economics of rare coins. While standard circulation coins have negligible investment value, coins with extreme rarity experience dramatic price swings. Bidding wars, media coverage, and collector awareness can drive prices far beyond initial estimates. This is particularly true for coins that combine multiple value-enhancing factors: rarity, condition, error type, provenance, and narrative. In the case of a 2006 penny valued hypothetically at $41 million, each of these factors contributes to the extraordinary final valuation. The sheer improbability of such a sale captures the imagination of both collectors and the general public, highlighting the unique intersection of chance, expertise, and human fascination with rare objects. Furthermore, the rise of online marketplaces and global auction platforms has expanded the reach of numismatics. Collectors in different continents can now bid against each other in real time, dramatically increasing competition and, by extension, prices. A 2006 penny that might have circulated unnoticed in a small American town could suddenly be recognized as an exceptional rarity by a global audience, culminating in a multi-million-dollar sale. Understanding this ecosystem is key to appreciating why certain coins, despite their nominal face value, achieve such staggering market prices. The interplay between rarity, historical context, human psychology, collector expertise, and global market dynamics transforms an ordinary 1-cent coin into a story worth millions. Each factor compounds the others, creating an environment in which even a coin minted less than 2 decades ago can reach valuations that defy conventional expectations. The 2006 1-cent coin thus serves as a remarkable example of how human attention to detail, passion for history, and fascination with rarity can elevate an everyday object into a symbol of extraordinary wealth, culture, and enduring intrigue. To fully grasp the extraordinary market potential of the 2006 1-cent coin, it is essential to examine real-world sales and auction examples that illustrate how a coin, seemingly worth only a penny, can command staggering prices. Over the past several decades, the numismatic world has repeatedly demonstrated that rarity, condition, and narrative can converge to produce sales that shock even seasoned collectors. While no widely documented sale of a 2006 penny has officially reached $41 million, hypothetical and comparable sales of rare modern pennies provide a framework for understanding how such valuations are possible. For instance, consider coins like the 1943 copper penny, one of the most famous rare coins in U.S. history, which sold at auction for millions due to its extreme rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. Coins from modern years, like the 2006 penny, could theoretically achieve similar valuations if they possess multiple compounding factors, minting errors, uncirculated perfection, unique provenance, and the attention of competitive global bidders. In analyzing these high-value sales, several patterns emerge that apply directly to the 2006 penny. First, coins with multiple anomalies are exponentially more valuable. A single double die might elevate a coin to 5 or 6 figures, but a combination of a double die, off-center strike, and perfect mint condition can make the coin exponentially rarer. Collectors recognize that coins with multiple simultaneous errors are practically impossible to replace, creating the scarcity needed to drive market prices into the millions. Second, coins with exceptional provenance often attract extraordinary premiums. For example, a modern penny preserved in an original mint set, untouched by circulation, and previously owned by a renowned collector can fetch far more than a comparable coin without a documented history. The story of ownership and preservation becomes part of the coin's value, sometimes rivaling or exceeding the monetary contribution of the coin's physical rarity. Third, the grading and certification process amplifies market confidence and price potential. Professional grading services not only assess a coin's condition, but also authenticate its anomalies. Coins graded at the pinnacle of perfection, MS70 or PF70, are extremely rare, especially when paired with minting errors or unique provenance. The certification provides assurance to buyers that the coin is genuinely exceptional, justifying higher valuations. Comparative analysis with other rare pennies helps contextualize the potential value of a 2006 coin. For instance, the 1955 double die penny is one of the most famous 20th century examples, regularly selling for hundreds of thousands to over $1 million depending on condition. Similarly, the 1943 copper penny has crossed the multi-million-dollar threshold at auction, demonstrating that coins with extreme rarity and historical significance can attract extraordinary prices. By analogy, if a 2006 penny exhibited comparable rarity through multiple minting errors, pristine uncirculated condition, and notable provenance, it could theoretically command a valuation approaching $41 million in the right market conditions. The global numismatic market has expanded dramatically in recent years, thanks to technology and increased accessibility. Online auction platforms, international bidding, and heightened media coverage allow coins from any corner of the world to attract attention from wealthy collectors, investors, and institutions. This global reach amplifies competition, driving prices higher than traditional local or national auctions ever could. Investment potential is another critical aspect of understanding the 2006 penny's value. Rare coins are tangible assets that often retain or increase value over time, particularly when they possess unique characteristics. Unlike stocks or bonds, which fluctuate with market volatility, rare coins are finite in supply and hold intrinsic appeal as historical artifacts. The scarcity and uniqueness of certain 2006 pennies make them attractive to investors seeking diversification with a physical, appreciating asset. Market predictions for coins of this nature are complex, but guided by a few consistent principles. Supply is effectively fixed, particularly for coins with extreme anomalies or perfect preservation. Demand among wealthy collectors, institutions, and investors continues to grow, particularly as awareness of modern rare coins expands. Historical trends suggest that coins combining rarity, condition, and narrative will continue to appreciate in value, especially in cases where public attention amplifies their desirability. Consider also the role of media and cultural attention. When a coin is publicized for its rarity, anomaly, or potential valuation, it creates excitement that draws new collectors into the market. A single high-profile sale can spark bidding wars and elevate the perceived value of similar coins, effectively reshaping the market landscape. In practical terms, for someone seeking to identify a potentially million-dollar 2006 penny, the process involves meticulous research, careful inspection, and often a measure of luck. Identifying doubled dies, off-center strikes, unusual composition, or other minting errors is a skill that combines numismatic knowledge, attention to detail, and access to professional resources. Once a coin is identified as potentially valuable, professional grading ensures that its market value is maximized. Beyond individual coins, the story of the 2006 penny illustrates broader lessons about how value is created and recognized in collectibles. Unlike fiat currency, which has intrinsic value tied to government authority, collectible coins derive value from rarity, desirability, historical significance, and human perception. A penny from 2006, in ordinary circulation, is worth a cent. In extraordinary circumstances, when errors, provenance, and perfection align, it could achieve valuations that seem almost unimaginable. This duality, between nominal and potential value, is part of what makes coin collecting fascinating, unpredictable, and compelling. Collectors often share stories of hours spent examining rolls of pennies, discovering subtle anomalies, and patiently waiting for the right moment to bring a coin to market. The combination of patience, expertise, and an eye for detail is what transforms everyday coins into rare treasures. Each 2006 penny that survives uncirculated, perfect, and with unusual minting characteristics is a reminder that even modern coins can become objects of intense desire and extraordinary financial significance. The narrative of the 2006 penny is also a lesson in the intersection of chance and preparation. Thousands of coins are minted each day, yet only a select few contain errors significant enough to capture collector interest. Finding one of these coins requires diligence, knowledge, and, occasionally, serendipity. Once discovered, these coins enter a market driven by competition, history, and passion, where ordinary pieces of metal are transformed into objects of immense value. In conclusion, the 2006 1-cent coin is far more than its face value suggests. Its significance lies in a combination of history, design, minting anomalies, condition, and market dynamics. It is a reminder that value is often constructed through human perception, scarcity, and storytelling. While millions of pennies circulate unnoticed, the rarest specimens can captivate collectors, historians, and investors alike, demonstrating that even the most modest object, a simple 1-cent coin, can hold the potential to reach extraordinary valuations, including the almost mythical figure of $41 million. This coin, small and seemingly ordinary, embodies lessons in history, economics, psychology, and chance, making it one of the most fascinating modern collectibles in the numismatic world. As we approach the final chapter of the journey of the 2006 1-cent coin, it becomes clear that understanding its extraordinary value requires more than just knowledge of minting, errors, or market dynamics. Preservation plays an equally crucial role. Even the rarest coin, if mishandled, scratched, or exposed to environmental factors, can lose its potential to achieve record-breaking valuations. Modern collectors take preservation seriously, employing archival quality storage materials, controlled environments, and meticulous handling procedures. Coins are often housed in inert plastic holders or airtight capsules that protect them from oxygen, moisture, and oils from human skin. Such care ensures that the coin maintains its original luster, weight, and detail, allowing it to retain or increase its value over decades. The 2006 penny, despite being minted less than 2 decades ago, benefits enormously from such attention to preservation. An uncirculated coin that has been stored in ideal conditions can be virtually indistinguishable from the day it was minted. In the world of numismatics, these pristine examples are considered the Holy Grail, especially if they exhibit subtle minting anomalies that make them rare. Another fascinating aspect is the global collector community. Numismatics is not confined to a single country or region. It is a worldwide network of enthusiasts, experts, and investors who share knowledge, trade coins, and track market trends. Online forums, professional societies, auction houses, and specialized publications serve as hubs for sharing information about rare finds, grading insights, and valuation trends. Within this community, the 2006 1-cent coin has become a point of fascination because it represents the intersection of modern minting, rarity, and the potential for extraordinary value. Collectors share stories of painstaking searches through boxes and rolls of pennies, examining each coin under magnification and noting the smallest deviations from standard minting specifications. The thrill of discovering a coin with even the slightest anomaly is a powerful motivator, fueling the ongoing fascination with seemingly ordinary pennies. Auction strategies also play a crucial role in achieving record-breaking valuations. Rare coins are not simply sold, they are showcased. Sellers often collaborate with reputable auction houses to highlight the coin's uniqueness, provenance, and condition. Detailed photography, historical context, and professional grading reports accompany the coin, creating an aura of legitimacy and prestige that encourages competitive bidding. In some cases, auctions are live, attracting global attention and driving prices far beyond initial estimates. The story of the 2006 penny, like many other high-value coins, is enhanced by narrative. Consider a hypothetical coin discovered in an old collection, perfectly preserved, showing a subtle double die on Lincoln's cheek, verified by professional grading, and presented with a detailed history of prior ownership. This narrative transforms the coin from an object of metal into a piece of history, a collectible with a story, and ultimately, an investment that commands extraordinary sums. Historical anecdotes further enrich the allure. Coins that survive decades without circulation, pass through generations, or are tied to notable collectors gain an additional layer of mystique. The journey of a coin, from its creation at the mint to its discovery in a forgotten jar, to its eventual auction, adds intangible value. It becomes more than a 1-cent piece. It is a vessel of history, a witness to time, and a testament to human curiosity and appreciation of rarity. As we reflect on the market forces, we also recognize that the 2006 penny embodies lessons in economics and human psychology. The concept of perceived value is central. While the metal content is negligible, collectors perceive worth in rarity, perfection, and story. This perception drives competition, inflates prices, and creates opportunities for coins to reach valuations that far exceed their face value. In the case of a penny hypothetically worth $41 million, we see the culmination of these factors: rarity, minting anomalies, perfect preservation, provenance, market demand, and narrative converge to produce a result that seems almost magical. The final lesson from the 2006 penny is one of wonder and possibility. Even in a world dominated by modern currency, digital transactions, and fleeting attention spans, a simple one-cent coin can capture imaginations, drive competitive global markets, and become an object of immense fascination and value. It teaches us that extraordinary potential often lies hidden within the ordinary, waiting for the careful eye, the patient collector, or the fortunate discoverer to recognize it. In conclusion, the 2006 one-cent coin is far more than a piece of metal. It is a story of artistry, engineering, history, and human ambition. It is a symbol of how meticulous craftsmanship, chance errors, preservation, and market perception can transform the mundane into the extraordinary. From its creation at the Mint, to potential discoveries in forgotten collections, to auction houses where it could command millions, this humble penny exemplifies the intricate interplay between rarity, condition, history, and human fascination. For collectors, historians, and enthusiasts, the 2006 penny is a reminder that value is not always inherent. It is often discovered, nurtured, and recognized by those who see the extraordinary in what others consider ordinary. Holding such a coin, examining its details, understanding its anomalies, and appreciating its journey is akin to holding a fragment of history, a testament to human creativity, and a potential gateway to unimaginable wealth. The story of the 2006 one-cent coin is not just about currency. It is about legacy, curiosity, and the profound truth that even the smallest objects can carry the weight of history, desire, and imagination. Whether you are a collector seeking the thrill of discovery, an investor seeking rare assets, or simply someone fascinated by the intersections of art, history, and economics, this penny invites you to look closer, to explore further, and to marvel at the extraordinary potential hidden in the most ordinary places. In the end, the 2006 one-cent coin is a testament to the human capacity for wonder, the enduring allure of rarity, and the profound impact of stories. Stories that can transform a simple coin into a treasure beyond measure, and a symbol of the limitless possibilities that exist in even the smallest details of our world.